The NBA officially restarted its season last night. The NBA was the only sports league that had an existing rule requiring athletes to stand for the national anthem, and for that reason, it didn't really get pulled into the Colin Kaepernick kneeling controversy back in 2016. But the racial unrest this spring changed all that. The NBA restarted in its bubble in Orlando last night, and there were two games, the Jazz versus the Pelicans and the Lakers versus the Clippers. And during both national anthems, everyone on the court kneeled, every player, every coach, even the refs. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is fine with it. Afterward, he said, quote, "I respect our team's unified act of peaceful protest for social justice, and under these unique circumstances, will not enforce our longstanding rule requiring standing during the playing of our national anthem."
What percentage, like when you think about the refs, like what percentage of the people are really down with the cause versus scared shitless? They're just gonna be shouted out of the bubble or attacked on Twitter? Because I feel like there's a handful that are down with the cause, and then a larger majority that are just like, I just want to leave the bubble and hug my kids at some point. And by the way, do the refs have to live in the bubble? Everyone has to live in the bubble, right? How could the refs
I assume, yeah.
not live in the bubble?
I assume so.
From what I understand, there are levels of bubble. For example, certain media who are in the bubble are like yellow, so they can go into certain restricted areas, but not the most restricted areas. But so far, the bubble has been very effective. Soccer's been in the bubble. I think they've done a good job containing it. Meanwhile, baseball, out of the bubble, lot of problems. As you know, the Marlins had 17 cases, and then the Phillies have had many cases.
It was on like day 3, or it might have been day 2. Who knows? It was like the first or second or third day.
I'd like soccer to stay in the bubble for as long as humanly possible. Like, I just feel like I can't stand soccer, so I like them in the bubble. Baseball, I don't mind in the bubble. Basketball, I mean, I think the moral of the story is, like, my son was watching the game last night. I was watching the highlights. Evidently, all the stuff we thought we needed, we don't really need anymore, right? Like, fans are sort of like the parsley by the side of the plate when you'd go to a diner. Like, for the first 30 years of my life, there was always a sprig of parsley. And I'd be like, what do we do with the parsley? Like, we need to have it there, okay? That's the way we do it. And then one day, the parsley was gone, and nobody noticed. So all the rules that we have about, the crowd, and are these guys going to be motivated, and how can they play, and they won't be able to do it, and whatever it is, evidently, we don't need anybody. It's loosely the relationship I have with my family. As it turns out, I just left, and I didn't really need them. Now I'm in the bubble.
Who's the parsley in that metaphor?
I would go ahead and say, is parsley a vegetable? Because I would characterize my parents as vegetables. And I don't want to bump them up to something noble like zucchini.
They're garnish level leafy greens.
Yes, they're garnish level vegetables.
Well, somebody none of us wants in the bubble, friend of the show and great actor Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. As y'all have probably heard by now, he released a video on social media announcing that he was diagnosed with COVID-19. He said, quote, a little while ago, he said he was very lucky that he had only had very mild symptoms. The point of the video was to highlight the importance of donating plasma to help others. He even shows footage of himself at the UCLA Blood and Platelet Center. In the caption, he said, quote, you're probably feeling a little tied down, restricting your mobility, and like me, you are tired of this. Well, I just want to encourage you to have a little more patience. I was pretty strict in adhering to the protocols, and I contracted this virus. Yep, I urge you to keep wearing the damn mask, keep washing your hands, and stay socially distant. We can prevail, but only if we follow the rules together.
So I saw Bryan yesterday. Was it yesterday, Bryan? I was trying to.
He was in your studio either yesterday or the day before. Well, the last day.
I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. I'm sorry. Everything's, when you drink on a private jet, the calendar gets a little blurry. But I was...
Man of the people.
I saw Bryan yesterday, and he was in my studio. He was filming because we're working on a documentary about Mad Magazine, and he read Mad Magazine a lot, so we're asking people I know to talk about Mad Magazine. So Bryan was in my studio yesterday being filmed, and then I came in and talked to him for a while, and I think we did like the fist bump or something. And he wasn't wearing a mask, and I wasn't wearing a mask. And then I woke up this morning, and there was an email that said, Bryan Cranston has COVID-19. I was like, oh, shit. I gotta fog the joint now because Cranston was in there yesterday. But I didn't know it was a story about him having it 2 months ago or whatever. And I got to tell you, though, like I'm not a responsible person. So when people say to me, hey man, I played by the rules. Like I washed my hands, I socially distanced, I put a mask on, and I still got it. I hear, oh, well then fuck it, let's go. Like let's party. Like to me, I hear those stories the way, like when they go, Agnes lived to 111 years old. Every day she started off with a shot of Jack Daniels and a Chesterfield. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Now we can all smoke and drink. I don't hear the opposite story. So these stories of I followed all the rules and I got it anyway, I just translate into, hey, suckers, why are you following the rules? So Cranston is giving his platelets, and we can use... What do we do? Do we get a vaccine out of that, or we use it to immunize people?
So they're asking people who've had COVID-19 to donate what's called convalescent plasma. And they're doing a lot of research to find out if they can treat people who have contracted coronavirus with this plasma. So as many people that can donate it, that helps with all their tests.
I don't want to besmirch the man. He's a good man, but I know Cranston pretty well. He likes good publicity. He also likes free Toll House cookies and orange juice. Were they giving that shit out? Because I don't know that he ever had this.
What you're saying is this was a ruse for the free juice and cookies and the very favorable publicity. Like
Good Ink meets Toll House cookies and fresh pressed orange juice. I'm not saying he didn't do it or didn't have it, but it is kind of... I like when people say, I'm not saying... Except for that's what you're saying by your tone. I'm not saying Cranston didn't have COVID-19, but I'm saying that. I'm calling the man a liar.
Okay, I've got a story about a guy who didn't not know he shouldn't masturbate in his car after his shift at Hungry Howies, but he
His
did.
shift where? Where was his shift?
Do you guys have Hungry Howies pizza? We
don't have a Hungry Howies.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Horny Howies. It is what it is.
Turned into. On Tuesday night, a woman in Fruitland Park, Florida, pulled into a spot next to a 1996 Honda Civic. I include the car for you, Adam, because I know that helps you to understand.
Yeah, I'm picturing it.
You know. Yeah.
God, I hope it wasn't a velour interior, but keep going. You want Naugahyde if you're going to beat off in that sled. You want rubber floor mats, you want the WeatherTech floor mats, and you want the Naugahyde. You don't want the velour and the carpet. You just don't. Sorry, go ahead.
He's in a convenience store parking lot, and a woman noticed a guy inside the car was moving his hand back and forth. The woman turned out to be an off-duty cop, so she took down his license plate, and she called some on-duty cops, and they tracked down this 22-year-old Stephen Donovan at his home. He admitted what he had been doing. And his excuse was that he thought it was legal to pleasure yourself in your car. It is not. When
Teresa asking for a friend. Is this just Florida or does this extend to other states?
I'm asking for a friend, too. What if you have a limo tint? If I got a limo tint, if I got a 33% tint, I mean, if my friend has a limo-style tint on that passenger side window, is that still a crime? I don't think so. I mean, he doesn't think so.
When he went home, this guy's 22, he went home to his girlfriend who's 20, and by the way, the car's registrant. So that's very awkward.
All right, but wait a minute. Let me say this. This guy beats off at a Papa John's or something. What was this place called?
He was working at the Hungry Howies, but he was actually caught masturbating at the Circle K parking lot after his shift.
Yeah, at the Circle Jerk parking lot. Okay. My thing is if I get busted for masturbating while I'm masturbating, I deny it.
Yeah.
If you bust me for masturbating 45 minutes later when my dick is in my sweats, I really deny it.
Yeah, prove it.
Actually sort of impressed how they went about it. They checked his license plate, and then they went to the residence, and then they asked, were you in the parking lot of Circle K at this time? And he said yes. So at that point, he had incriminated himself because the woman had already seen him with his genitals out, and she was an off-duty cop. So he placed himself at the scene of the masturbation. And at that point, he was taken away.
He had an itch.
Yeah, he had to scratch it. Yeah, Garagos got him off, pardon the pun. And what kind of chalk outline do we put around that crime scene? Teresa Strasser, let's do a little role playing. Here's where I'd be the world's worst cop because you couldn't get me to do anything, especially as it pertained to this shit. So you be the female cop who caught this guy beating off in the parking lot. You're telling me to roll on it by telling me his license plate.
I got to give you the plate number?
Yeah.
Well, you can make that up.
You make it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless anyone in the audience has it memorized. I don't want to break down the fourth wall here, but
it's a personalized plate, heart jerking.
Yeah, that's right.
HRTJ.
Well, now we're doing role playing. Now you got to call. You got to blow a call in.
Oh, for God's sakes! Here's me trying to do an improv.
Go ahead. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I do have the plate. I've got to call in a plate. There's a situation. A man is masturbating in a Honda Civic. License plate JACR.
I don't know who this is. What she cop is this? Hello?
It's Officer Strasser. I've been
hey.
5 years. You know.
Yeah. What do you want?
A man is masturbating. He's exposing his genitals. He's in a Honda Civic.
I'm done masturbating. I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing going on here. I'm just sitting in my car listening to yacht rock.
No, I'm talking about a perpetrator in the parking lot of Circle K. He is exposing his genitals unlawfully, and I need you to track down his license, please.
Did he rob the Circle K?
His genitals are out in the parking lot. He is masturbating in a public place in his car. Could you please?
You want me to roll on this call? We got the courthouse on fire in Portland. We got Antifa doing battle with Black Lives Matter. We got fellow officers with their cars burning, having frozen bottles thrown at them, and tear gas canisters kicked back them, and you want me to roll on a guy who was beating off in a Honda?
It's J-A...
J? Yeah, hold on. Let me get my invisible pen out. Hold on. Let me get Wonder Woman's pen out. Go ahead. I'm going to write this down. Go ahead.
J-A-C-R.
J as in cat? No, go ahead. I know these are recorded. Go ahead, I'll write it down.
The man is masturbating in his car families could be walking by. It's a Circle K. I need you to take down the plate and roll on this call.
You want me to come to the Circle K, or you want me to run the plate and go to his home and then what?
Yes.
Kick in the front door, do a shoulder roll, come up with my Glock and yell no time for backup? Think I'm fucking TJ Hooker over here? The fucking town is burning and you're looking for guys that are beating off in a parking lot? Are you on duty?
Actually, I'm off duty.
Well, why don't you mind your own fucking beeswax then? I'm off duty 16 hours a day. You don't see me walking around looking for guys that are beating off. I mind my fucking own business.
I'm here to protect and serve.
I'm glad your head is on a swivel looking for guys pleasuring themselves in a Honda. But how about you fucking get caught up on whatever's on Netflix and leave society alone?
This is my job. I took an oath to protect and serve.
You took an oath to work 8 hours a day, not to never stop looking for guys. We think I took an oath to bust guys that are beating off? And by the way, what shall I do? Every time I'm mid-stroke and I look up in the mirror, throw some fucking zip ties on myself? I beat off earlier today.
Was it in your car, sir?
It was, but the car was in the garage. I do have some dignity. I'm sorry, what was the license plate again?
JACRO.
JAC, as in Jack? You got to be offing me.
That is the license plate. That actually is the plate number.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to commandeer that armored vehicle that Daryl Gates would use to knock down crack houses in Los Angeles circa 1985. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get a whole fucking SWAT team. I'm going to get the group that rolled on Roger Stone's house 4 months ago. I'm going to get an amphibious boat. I'm going to get a battle-tested armored Humvee, and I'm going to get an entire SWAT team, and we're going to roll on this guy's Honda. I'm going to have guys rappelling down from this guy's apartment building, and we're going to go in with a couple of flash grenades. It's going to be like raid on Entebbe, and I'll bust this guy, and I'll put him in the drunk tank, and when he wants to know why I did it, I'll tell him because you couldn't fucking mind your own beeswax.
Can I speak to your commanding officer, please? I feel that we're not communicating.
He's beating off right now. What's this guy's plate again?
JACRO6. That is his plate.
What color's the Honda?
Brown.
Brown?
1996 Honda Civic.
Is it automatic?
I don't know.
Well, if you can't tell me whether it's a standard or automatic, I'm not going to roll on this one. Hey, next time you're off duty, how about you go out to the fucking driving range and hit a bucket of balls instead of running around looking for citizens beating off lawfully in their own Honda?
I wasn't looking for the Honda masturbator. He found me.
I understand you're looking at this as a calling, but what I'm saying is... All right, end scene. I think you guys got the idea of it. If
Teresa,
I
how close were
were...
your two young boys during that?
Sorry, Brian, yes?
How close were your two young boys during that whole exchange?
Oh, that's a good
God,
call,
they
yeah.
weren't so close.
See, here's where I'd be a horrible cop, because I just go, yeah, I'll go by this guy's house, and then I would never go by the guy's house. And then I just go, yeah, I drove by, I didn't see a Honda, so I just called it a night. All right, what else? Let's do one more, Teresa Strasser.
Oh, well, here's another pizza-related story. This out of New Zealand, where, by the way, 250,000 U.S. natives have flocked to that country's official immigration website. A lot of Americans thinking about New Zealand, moving to New Zealand. This is about Domino's Pizza in New Zealand. They had to drop a promotion offering free pizza to women named Karen after it was met with backlash. As you know, in recent years, the name Karen...
Let me say this about this country. We do that thing every once in a while where, like, you know what? This is a racist hellscape, and we got to get out of here. We're going to a different country. I'm going to apply for citizenship in a different country. But our next step is, what is the widest place I can go to? New Zealand is the widest place Whitey can flee to. So maybe we're not as woke as we claim to be, but go ahead.
The name Karen has been used as an insult to describe white middle-aged women who are perceived to be obnoxious or racist. The pizza's franchise's New Zealand arm initially said it wanted to give, quote, nice Karens a break from negativity, but some said it was tone deaf and ignored more important issues and, quote, rewarded privilege. So what was the offer? There was a giveaway titled Calling All Nice Karens. It was posted on the pizza chain's Australian and New Zealand pages, and it asked those named Karen to tell Domino's in 250 words how they were one of the, quote, nice ones.
Can I say this? Hold on a second.
Good.
You got to ask yourself, I feel the same way about people who are eating at Denny's on their birthday. Like, I get it. You get a free omelet, but you're 47 years old. What has gone wrong in your life? That you're a Catholic. I'm going to write a 3-page letter so I can get a $6 pizza for free. Like, at a certain point, your time becomes worth something, right? Is this all in the pursuit of a free pizza?
It is. So maybe the problem of your name being Karen, it doesn't crack the top 50 of your issues.
Yeah, I thought, and by the way, if your name is Karen, it means you're a white chick who's got privilege. What do you need a free world's shittiest pizza in New Zealand for?
You have encapsulated the backlash that happened in New Zealand. That's what people said. They said, why are you giving stuff to Karens who already have stuff? They are saying our intention was one of inclusivity only, which is why we removed the post in New Zealand and issued an apology. Some of the people on Twitter said that Domino's should find more worthy causes, people who actually need it, like those who are homeless and have no food security.
All right, first things, nobody really needs a pizza. You're just stoned, drunk, or high, and you want a pizza. Number one. Number two, I do love this sort of vague, like, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be giving that pizza to the homeless. What do you want Domino's to do? Just go out, find a homeless encampment, and start tossing those things out like they're playing ring toss? Like, I mean, the alternative is something they're never going to engage in, so it's futile. But it turns out everyone is a douchebag. And the computer has weaponized all our douchebaggery, and anyone who tries to do anything now, we just jump on it and go, well, you should have never, you have to understand that that's insensitive, and you got to hear what that's tone deaf. I'm so tired of people saying everything is tone deaf. Leave them alone, let them give away their pizzas, and by the way, you know the real hero of today is Trader Joe's, because Trader Joe's went, fuck it. We're going to go with Trader Jose's taco shells, and you guys can all pound sand. Fuck you.
Trader Giuseppe's Italian sauce.
Yes, it's fine. Nobody's offended. This is some 17-year-old trying to fucking get everyone to bow to her in the Bay Area or wherever the hell she was from, and fuck you, sweetheart. Go back to whatever, climb in whatever hole you came from. Trader Joe's is sticking with their names. Okay. I'm going to bid adieu to, let's do we have an outro? Do we have an outro, Teresa Strasser?
I'm Teresa Strasser, that's the news, go.
Oh.
Teresa Strasser and the news. Fuck you, CNN.